What's up, Laker Nation? You're watching the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Coming your way on today's show, we're going to take a look at the top NBA free agents who the Lakers can sign this summer. First, make sure you subscribe to the channel. 10 people away from 42,000 subs, so if you want to stay in the know with all things Lakers, hit that big red sub button down below. To start off this exercise, let's go through a couple of things really quickly because we're going to take a look at a bunch of free agent targets who I think could fit this roster really well, and there are some big names in this free agency class. Need to get rid of the Russell Westbrook contract. There's no doubt about that. It's one of the worst in the NBA, and it's very prohibitive if the Lakers want to get back to title contention. They're not able to do that with Russell Westbrook on the team and that base salary of more than $40 million. Also, I understand the Lakers are in the midst of a disastrous year, one of the worst in franchise history, considering what the expectations were for Los Angeles going into this year. But LA, most iconic brand in the NBA, one of the most iconic brands in all of sports worldwide, it is always a destination, and this is a place where the top players always want to play. LeBron James, 37 years old, and he's still playing at an MVP level. The window for the Lakers to win a championship is right now. So they have to do their due diligence. They have to build around LeBron James because he's still playing at his peak. Unbelievable basketball. The window is now. Take advantage of it by bringing in some of these marquee free agents and rid yourself of Russell Westbrook. Lastly, salary cap isn't real. Kind of a joke, but actually I'm not joking because a bunch of salary cap nerds will be out there and say, this guy's an idiot, this guy's a clown, they can't sign him, they don't have the money. There's always salary cap gymnastics that can be pulled off. There's always money that can be deferred. There's always trades that can happen to free up salary cap space. So for those mathematical nerds out there saying it's not possible, it is possible, I'm telling you, and we see it all the time across the NBA and all four major sports leagues. Before we take a look at this list, what is a dream free agent that you want the Lakers to sign? Maybe you answer this question after we break down all of these names. Maybe you have one pinpointed in between your ears. Let me know in the comment section right now. The cream of the crop looks like this. James Harden, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, and Deandre Ayton. These are no doubt the top 5 best free agents in the 2020 NBA free agency class. For James Harden has a player option. Zach LaVine, unrestricted free agent, so he's free to sign elsewhere. Bradley Beal also has a player option, so too does Kyrie Irving. And Deandre Ayton, a restricted free agent. So if another team were to offer him a contract, the Suns have the opportunity to match that contract. They did not sign him to a max deal going into this year. Interested to see what happens there. For Zach LaVine, he said, look, I want to come back to Chicago. That organization is all in. They're having a pretty solid season, although the last couple of months they've dipped down a little bit, but the numbers for Zach LaVine have not dipped. They're still really, really good. Now, points per game down just a couple of points this year, but that's not really all that surprising, considering the Bulls are a much more well-rounded team this year as compared to years previous. 25 points per game, he's a walking bucket, connecting on about 48% of his field goals on 18 attempts per night. Still a pretty good shooter from beyond the arc as well, although he can get streaky. Zach LaVine, where does he rank among the NBA's best? He's not a top 10 player. He's not a top 15 player, in my opinion. You can disagree with me in the comments section. Maybe he's fringe top 20. You let me know and voice your opinions once more in the comment section. More free agent targets here. Miles Bridges, restricted free agent. His jump from last year to this year and throughout his NBA career really has been terrific. Jalen Brunson, an unrestricted free agent. There are going to be a bunch of teams who are going after Jalen Brunson, who, like Bridges, has made so many improvements. He's going to get the bag. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 years, $80 million, $20 million average annual value. Anfernee Simons, really him, Brunson, and Bridges, 3 of the most improved players in the NBA. Simons, without CJ McCollum and without Damian Lillard, who's been injured basically all year, has had a career year up to this point. Collin Sexton, Darius Garland has made a lot of people forget about him, but still a really good guard who can do it all and score from all 3 levels. And Josuf Nurkic was a good player, still is a good player, was a very good player, I should say, prior to that brutal leg injury. Hasn't been the same guy, but he too, an unrestricted free agent. Talking about Miles Bridges, take a look at the jump we've seen year over year from last year to this year really is remarkable. I mean, in 2020, 2021, he was averaging about 13 points per game, connected on about 50% of his field goals, 40% from three, field goal attempts, 9.5. That number has gone all the way up to 15. The points per game up from nearly 13 to 20. Rebounds up. Field goal percentage down, yes, but 6 more attempts per game. And in my opinion, he's the most improved player in the NBA. A great example of a guy just getting into the lab, coming out of Michigan State, looked at as an athletic force. He's refined his game a lot. So too is Jalen Brunson. The fact that he went early in the second round a few years ago out of Villanova is criminal. In year 4, he's having the best year of his career as well. Former National Player of the Year at Villanova, 2 national titles, plays winning basketball. Lakers could really use him from a culture standpoint, but him also being a floor general, I think it is going to be a priority for Dallas to bring him back. But you look at the numbers, 16 points per game, 50% from the deck, doesn't have elite, spunky athleticism, but he's not the most twitchy guy, but man, he can really be efficient. Had a couple of opportunities this year to watch him live because we're based out of Dallas, Texas, and the way he's able to use his body and his lower body strength to get to his shot and get a shot off to really maneuver around the court is very, very impressive. I'm a huge fan of him. Make your pick. Who's the more improved player here between Brunson and Miles Bridges? A good question that I want you to all answer right now down below. JB for Jalen Brunson, MB for Miles Bridges. You let me know and make your pick. Here at the Lakers Report and at Chat Sports, really excited to tell you about a new partner, Rumble. Free, exclusive, uncensored video content on the Rumble app and more Lakers news and rumors videos. If you go to rumble.com/LakersTV, I don't like cancel culture. So if you're with me, you'll like a lot of the content on Rumble as well. And right now we have a competition going on between Golden State Warriors today and the Lakers Report. Laker Nation, you see that you're down by a little bit in terms of Rumble subscribers to Warriors today. It's a rivalry on the floor in the Western Conference and in California, of course, but also inside the walls here at Chat Sports. Show up, show out. Let's see what you got. And can we surpass Golden State Warriors today? It's up to you. Rumble.com/LakersTV and hit that green subscribe button on the Rumble side of things. Lu Dort has a team option. John Wall hasn't played this year. Player option. Some rumors at the NBA trade deadline about him getting traded to Los Angeles in exchange for Russell Westbrook. I would have really liked to have seen the Lakers actually pull that off. I think Wall would have helped improve the team. Bobby Portis also going to be out there too. Montrezl Harrell, unrestricted free agent from Malik Monk. I think it's a big priority for the Lakers to retain one of their own young players and one of their only young players in Malik Monk, who's been outstanding as arguably the 3rd best Lakers player this year. Can stretch the floor, can play make, is a good athlete, throws down some highlight reel worthy dunks, and has really become a good shooter after a couple of bad years coming out of Kentucky. He's really rounded into his own, and he's turned into a good player. Victor Oladipo, unrestricted free agent after re-upping with the Miami Heat, coming off that really bad leg injury series where it involved the quad, it involved knees. If he's right, if he's healthy, my goodness, Oladipo is an outstanding player. He's already netted like $100 million throughout his career. Can he cash in yet again? No, because I think another team wants to see him prove that he can continue to stay healthy. Patty Mills, just a winning player, whether he's playing internationally with Team Australia in the Olympics or with the San Antonio Spurs and now with the Brooklyn Nets, a great backup point guard. Can you imagine having him and Jalen Brunson, your 1-2 punch, to really just replace that Russell Westbrook contract? That'd be awesome. Mitchell Robinson, a really good big man. I can't wait to see how much he gets paid. Is it going to be $15 million? Somewhere in the neighborhood of 10-15, I think is what he's going to get on a year in, year out basis. Dennis Schroeder, is a reunion going to happen? Some rumors about Schroeder going to Los Angeles at the NBA trade deadline before those talks fell through. And TJ Warren, injury-riddled year. Unfortunate what happened to him with that foot injury, because at the NBA bubble, he was hooping. He was balling out. He was getting buckets. He was finding twine. But since then, has dealt with a lot of injuries. Is a very good bucket getter when he is healthy, though. Before we hop on out of here, earlier I asked you this question, and now I want to ask you again because maybe I convinced you. Maybe I changed your mind. We're here on the Lakers Report. It's our duty to inform you. So now, name your dream free agent you want the Lakers to sign, and don't forget to subscribe.